I learned a family secret a few months ago about why my stepsister isn't allowed to live with us or be around me. I lost my biological mother when I was barely old enough to form memories. My father later married Sarah, the woman who would become my mom in every sense that matters. Sarah brought with her 2 children from her previous marriage, a son who occasionally joins us for holidays, and a daughter, Claire, who is 12 years my senior and whose absence has been a constant, unspoken shadow in our family photos. "You don't have to watch these with me, Mom," I remember saying during one of our countless Pokemon movie marathons. But she'd just smile, pull me closer, and whisper, "I want to." That was Sarah. She embraced motherhood with such genuine devotion that it still moves me to tears. From grocery shopping trips to homework sessions, she was there for every mundane moment and milestone. At my high school graduation, despite her solemn promise not to cry, she couldn't hold back her tears. "Happy tears," she insisted, dabbing at her eyes. All while maintaining a delicate balance, never attempting to erase the memory of my birth mother. Together with my maternal grandfather, Dad had created a precious photo album after my mother's passing, a tangible link to the woman who gave me life. That album now sits in my apartment, a treasured possession I've found myself revisiting frequently lately. But here's the devastating truth I recently learned. This isn't the original album. The first one met a tragic fate at the hands of my stepsister in an act of calculated cruelty. The incident that led to Claire's permanent exile occurred shortly after she and Mom moved in. Claire, then 18 or 19, had been reprimanded by Mom for her persistent rudeness toward Dad and me. "This is my home too," Claire had spat venomously. "You can't tell me how to act." In retaliation, she gathered her friends and deliberately destroyed the irreplaceable photo album in a bonfire, an act whose ripples would tear our family apart. The truth came to light when one of Claire's friends, consumed by guilt, confessed to her own mother, who then contacted Mom. I can still picture the scene as Dad described it, coming home to find Mom in tears, devastated not just by the act itself but by the betrayal it represented. "I failed her," Mom had sobbed. "No," Dad had replied firmly, "she failed you." What followed was a testament to human kindness, as family, friends, and even my mother's old college classmates rallied together, contributing photos to create the replacement album I now possess. When I asked Dad if Claire had ever sought forgiveness, he revealed that she had attempted to reach out years later, but Mom had made an unshakable decision to sever all ties. "Some wounds," Dad explained quietly, "cut too deep to heal." The album's destruction, while horrific, was merely the final act in a pattern of toxic behavior that had poisoned our household. The revelation prompted me to reflect deeply on forgiveness and family bonds. While I had grown up without any particular animosity toward Claire, having never known about the original album, I now understood that Mom's decision went beyond this single act of destruction. It was about protecting the peace and love that flourished in Claire's absence. I've chosen not to broach this subject with Mom, respecting her wish to maintain the distance she's created. Instead, I plan to express my gratitude through actions, giving both my parents the kind of fierce hugs that say what words cannot. Update, 3 days later. After sharing my story, I was overwhelmed by the responses it generated. I decided to reach out to Mom, and our conversation revealed layers of history I hadn't known existed. The album incident, it turns out, was the explosive finale to a long-running family drama. "I tried everything," Mom confessed, her voice heavy with old pain. Even before meeting Dad, she had been struggling with Claire's increasingly destructive behavior. Claire's biological father was largely absent, leaving Mom to handle the fallout from her daughter's involvement with a troublesome crowd during her final years of high school. Despite Mom's desperate attempts to arrange counseling and set boundaries, Claire remained defiantly resistant to any intervention. When Mom married Dad and we all moved in together, she had only 2 simple requests for Claire: be kind and keep tidy. Yet even these basic expectations proved too much. Claire's hostility extended beyond her mother to include Dad and, most disturbingly, me, a 6-year-old child whose only crime was watching TV or playing in our backyard. "Get out of my way, brat," she would snarl, shoving past me in the hallway. The breaking point came even before the photo album's destruction. Mom had already arranged for Claire to live with her father, an hour away from her friends, a decision that sparked Claire's vengeful destruction of the album. When confronted, Claire's response was chilling. She admitted she thought it would be funny to take something precious from Dad and me. "I wanted you to hurt," she had said, her voice cold and distant. Mom's voice still trembles when she recalls that day, the panic of thinking her marriage might crumble, the relief when Dad stood firmly by her side. "I thought I was choosing between my daughter and my marriage," she admitted. "But really, I was choosing peace over chaos." She confessed that her mental health improved dramatically after Claire's departure, allowing her to focus on nurturing relationships with those who brought love rather than toxicity into our lives. Despite everything, Mom ensured Claire wasn't left destitute, maintaining her college fund and future inheritance. But when Claire attempted reconciliation years later, Mom found herself unable to move past the calculated cruelty of her actions, particularly those directed at a defenseless child. "I can forgive what she did to me," Mom said softly, "but I can't forgive what she did to you." Our conversation ended with Mom's tearful admission that she still feels guilty about the lost photos, precious memories of my birth mother that can never be recovered. "Those weren't just pictures," she whispered, "they were pieces of your history." I assured her that the replacement album, created with so much love and community support, holds its own special meaning. As for me, I have no desire to connect with Claire. Some bridges, once burned, leave scars too deep to mend. In the end, family isn't always about blood, it's about the people who choose to love us, protect us, and stand by us through life's darkest moments.